Hello, in this video we will be doing Dhammapada Chapter 4 verses 15 and 16. That's in the consecutive numbering, verses numbers 58 and 59. Right, we'll start with 4:15. Yatha sankarathanasmim ujjitasmim mathapate. Sorry, I muffed that. Do it again. Yatha sankarathanasmim ujjitasmim mahapate padumam tattajayeta suchigandham manoramam. Straight over to verse 16 now, because they form one sentence. Evam sankara bhutesu andabhute putujjane atirochiti panyaya samma sambuddha savako. I'll read again, now both the two verses consecutively. Yatha sankara thanasmim ujjitasmim mahapate padumam tattajayeta suchigandham manoramam. Evam sankara bhute su andabhute putujjane atirochiti panyaya samma sambuddha savako. So of these two verses, which have to be taken as one unit in reality, the first one is the simile, just as a lotus might arise from this heap of rubbish. And the second one, 4:16, is what it's likened to. That's the how the awakened one can shine forth, like the lotus can grow out of a heap of rubbish. So now looking at 4:15, yatha, just as, padumam jayeta, a lotus might be born. Note that in Sanskrit we know the word padma is lotus, and in Pali that becomes paduma. And there are various different words for a lotus, many words for lotus actually in Sanskrit and Pali. This is just just one, the most common one. So padumam jayeta. Now we know our root jan, cognate with generation, genesis, it means being born. A little bit irregular because the present stem is not jan but ja. So jayeti means it is born. Sorry, ja with the long a. And one of the optative forms, there's more than one, we've had, it could be jaye or jayeta. Here it's jayeta. Strictly speaking, the jaye is the active form and jayeta is the passive or middle form, but that distinction is maintained strictly in Sanskrit, but not so strictly in Pali. So you could have jaye or jayeta. So the optative here meaning just as a lotus might be born. It's just a general simile, a general statement, not talking about a specific lotus, jayeti is born, but lotuses generally, a lotus might be born. Padumam jayeta. So, and might be born sankarathanasmim. Be careful not to confuse the not very common word that's used here, sankara. It's from the root kri with a long kri. Some might pronounce it kur, others kri. Actually, that means to pour, to pour something over another, to pour a liquid. And you have in one of the verses, I can't remember now, the flood overwhelming an island, flooding an island. That's the orko abhi. It's over abhikirati, overflows, overfloods the island. Here it's any kind of strewn or pour, but sankirati sung the with, the gathering in. Sankirati would mean to sweep together. So that's why we have this, the imagery here is a dirty floor, or bits all over it, being swept together into a heap. So you have your heap of dirt swept up. That is the sankara, the sweeping together. So it's a pile of rubbish. And the tana, this word tana, it's from one of our old favorites, sta, meaning to stand. In Sanskrit, a place is sthana. That's the root. Sta plus the noun ending, very common noun ending, sthana. Like da, to give, dana, giving. Jna, to know, jnana, Pali jnana, knowledge. So sthana means a place. It's formed in exactly the same way as from the Latin stare, to stand, and where we have sthana in Sanskrit, it becomes, so what am I doing here? Sorry. Boom. There we are. From station, you see, stare, statio in English. Station is just the standing, so a place, your station, your standing. That's exactly in that way, sthana. So sthana, standing, means a place. And that will become, in Pali, kana. Incidentally, it's from that same word sthana we get the stans, Pakistan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, and so on. It's that same stan. So a sankaratana means a rubbish place or a rubbish tip. So the rubbish tip, sankaratana. So sankarathanasmim, that's the locative now. So in a heap of rubbish or a rubbish place, ujhitam, discarded or thrown, mahapate, on the highway. The root, the word, sorry, pata. And if you want to see the English for that, just knock off the final a. It's exactly the same root as our word path. So but it doesn't just mean a path, it also means a road. And here, of course, the highway, the high road, the Mahapata, the great road on a highway. The idea is just a pile of rubbish by a public road, is the imagery here. So yatha sankarathanasmim, as in a rubbish heap, ujhitasmim, thrown, mahapate, on or by the side of, next to the highway. Padumam tatta, the padumam, the locus, the lotus. Jayeta might be born tatta, which is there. The lotus might be born there. The lotus might arise there. Suchigandham manoramam. Suchi means, the main meaning of the word suchi, in fact, in Sanskrit, it is shuchi. Oops. And Pali, suchi. The essential meaning is pure or clean. So suchiganta means pure smelling, clean smelling, or sweet smelling. So this is a possessive compound. Suchiganta means having a smell that is sweet. So sweet smelling, we'd say in English. Suchigantham, and it's an adjective qualifying lotus. So padumam suchigantham, a sweet smelling lotus. Manoramam, mind delighting. This is our word mano, mind. The root ram means delight. If you put it as at the end of the compound, rama means that delights something. So manorama would mean mind delighting, pleasing to the mind. And actually from that same root, we have the word rati. Just as we have, gum, root gum, past participle gata. Same. This is exactly the same as Sanskrit and Pali. Gam gata, gati, and gati means a going. That m is dropped off. So gam gata gati. The same happens with ram, rati. So rati means delight, but more specifically, it means romantic delight. But here, in this context, manoramam just means ordinary, something that pleases the mind. So we'll proceed now to number 16. So just as the lotus might grow out of a heap of rubbish discarded by the side of the road, this sweet-smelling, mind-delighting lotus, evam sankara bhutesu andha bhute putujjane atirochiti panyaya samma sambuddha savako. Evam, thus, in that same way. The subject of the sentence is the savako, the disciple. Savako, it's from the root shru, meaning to hear or to listen. And you can make an agent noun that a hearer, a listener. In Sanskrit, it would be the shru shravaka. And by standard phonetic mutation, come on, savaka. So a hearer, meaning a disciple, of course. So the savako, the disciple, the samma sambuddha savako, that's the disciple of the perfectly enlightened one, samma sambuddha savako, atirochati. In a couple of lessons ago, we had the root ruch, and in both Sanskrit and Pali, it becomes rochati, to shine. The prefix ati means something like crossing over, outshining, outdoing, excessively doing more or better than whatever it's being compared with. For example, in the Metta Sutta, in the first verse, last word of the first verse of the Metta Sutta, you've got the atimani, so mana, originally just meaning opinion, but mana, having a big opinion of yourself, rather like conceit. So atimani, excessively opinionated, having an excessive opinion of oneself. That's the atimani. The root kram, to step. If you atikramati, you step over, you transcend something, atikramati. Here, ati, rochati, shines. Atirochati means outshines or shines out beyond something, puts other things in the shade. Atirochati. So this Samma Sambuddha Savako, the Savako, disciple of the Samma Sambuddha, Atirochati, shines forth or shines up, shines out, shines forth, overshines. Panyaya, this is the instrumental of our well-known word panya, meaning wisdom, and the instrumental panyaya means by wisdom. So the Samma Sambuddha Savako, panyaya, by his wisdom, atirochati, shines out. Shines out where? Sankara bhutesu andhabhute putujjane. These are both locatives, so he shines out among. So among these common people who are blind and like rubbish, the savako shines out. Sankara bhutesu. Sankara, the same word as before, rubbish. Bhuta, we know the well-known root, of course, bhu, to be, past participle, bhuta, means has been, also has become, or just in a state of being like. So sankara bhuta means you are like rubbish, rubbish become. You are or have become like rubbish. And andha bhute, andha is blind. So andha bhuta is blind been, therefore, who have become blind. Notice that sankara bhutesu, the esu is the locative plural ending, whereas at the end of this line we have putujjane, which is also a locative, but it's the locative singular. Now, remember here that jana, from the root jan, meaning to be born, so jana just means people, and the word can be used in both Sanskrit and Pali, either as a singular or as a plural. So you can have jana, or equally as the plural jana, but with both of them with the plural meaning. So even if it's in the singular, it still has a plural meaning. Rather like in English, we can say like folk, which has a plural meaning, meaning people. So that's why putujjane, among the common people, andhabhutesu, who are as blind, as if blind, become blind, sankara bhutesu, who have become like rubbish. This word putu don't confuse it with broad. There is the, sorry, rub that out. There's the Sanskrit pritu, which means broad or wide. In fact, the word pritu is cognate with our English broad, pritu, broad. It's the same origin. There is a separate word, actually, which means separate or separately in Sanskrit, is pritak. Both of them become putu in Pali. So this putujjane means actually the separate people, the outsiders, the common people. And you double the J because in Sanskrit, I'll just go over writing it in Sanskrit first. In Sanskrit, it would be written as pritagjana, because it's from pritak. So pritag, the k becomes a g because of the following voiced consonant. So Sanskrit pritagjana, and because of this combination of consonants here, it becomes putujjana in Pali. Right, so I will read these through again slowly, consecutively as before, since they make one sentence. Yata sankara tanasmim ujjitasmim mahapate paduman tata jayeta suchigandham manoramam evam sankara bhutesu andhabhute putujjane atirochiti panyaya samma sambuddha savako. I'll read once more now. Yatha sankara tanasmim ujjitasmim mahapate padumam tatta jayeta suchigandham manoramam. Evam sankara bhutesu andhabhute puthujjane atirochiti panyaya samma sambuddha savako. And with this, we conclude chapter 4 of the Dhammapada.